Hello everyone, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back with another video here today, and it's going to be a very casual video. We're going to be just running through the round 1 of the NFL draft. Probably won't do it for rounds 2, 3, or whatever. I'll probably make eventually a grading of the draft, basically. I was going to do a stream for it all and all that good stuff, but it just really wasn't going to work out as well as I wanted it to, so I decided not to do it. So a lot of things are getting pushed back just due to, there's a lot of life-changing things happening right now. The last episode of the fantasy draft is in the all limbo. NFL imperialism's own little category. So we're just going to be pumping out these draft videos as well as finishing up that fantasy video as well as finishing up the free agency video. Those are 3 things I'm going to finish. This draft, so basically this draft, free agency, and fantasy football, and then hopefully NFL imperialism will be another week after that. So that is the goal, but who knows with all this crazy stuff going on. But before we get started, please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment any suggestions going forward below. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. On screen, as you see, we're going to go through pick by pick and just kind of talk about my thoughts. I'm not going to grade it. I'm not going to say too much of here or there. I'm going to kind of give the pros and cons to it all. But first of all, we're going to jump right into the first overall pick officially. Caleb Williams. No surprise there. He's, just to keep it short, he's the best quarterback prospect in a long time. I've seen people talk about him very well. I've seen highlights of him play, and he really is one of those talents that you just don't see very often. And even if he doesn't pan out, it's one of those things that you have to take a shot on him now, because it's more likely than not he'll be good, at least in some aspect. So it's kind of like Trevor Lawrence. It's like you had to take a shot on him just because he was that kind of talent. He was a great talent coming out of it. Even though he's not the best right now, he's still someone who's able to learn, and he's doing well. So at least maybe you can get that from Caleb Williams. We'll see. But it was the obvious first round choice, and I feel like there really was no other option for the Bears. They had to do it. I finally in the camp where they should have got rid of Justin Fields and move on. Get Caleb Williams, great talent, move on from there. Now let's go into the interesting conversations of Jayden Daniels. I really didn't see this coming. I really did not see the Commanders getting Jayden Daniels. I thought that they would kind of go a different route, but granted, I kind of said it in the video. Looking back at it, it's actually more obvious of a pick than I realized. For one, I didn't realize how accomplished Jayden Daniels was in terms of yardage and his passing game. I thought his rushing game was a whole lot better than it was, but really I was mistaken against Jayden Daniels. He's very athletic. He's very good. He's very accurate, and he's done very good things in college. So more props to him there, as well as, I kind of mentioned it before. But with Sam Howell being the quarterback they've had for a while, that's more of a traditional quarterback type style. They need something different, and maybe Jayden Daniels is that. So go for something different. I think he's a good quarterback. He probably, honestly, I've always said it was Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and just in terms of people I wanted on my team. Then Drake May, with Drake May kind of fighting Bo Nix. But Jayden Daniels, honestly, probably was a better prospect than Bo Nix, in all honesty. So I kind of eliminate Drake May from that. So it kind of goes from Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, into Bo Nix, which we'll get to Bo Nix a little bit later. So great pick. Honestly, think it's going to be good for the Commanders. And Drake May, I feel like, again, Patriots were just in a position where they had to get either Jayden Daniels or Drake May. Luckily, they got the 3rd pick, so they could get whoever. They could get, make an easy decision, just pick up whoever. Drake May, I think, is a good talent. I worry about it because there's 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. Not all of them are going to be very good. I feel like 2 of them are going to be long-standing. That's my instincts. Like, 2 of these quarterbacks are going to be good long-term, and I just don't know who it is going to be. And maybe it's because of injury or just whatever. But 2 of these, I feel like 2 of these quarterbacks are going to just not work out. Period. 2 of these quarterbacks are just going to be like, we're kind of good, and then 2 quarterbacks will actually be franchise stars. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I like all these quarterbacks actually, except for like 1. I really don't like 1 or 2 of them. But either way, Drake May's probably in that camp where I just don't like him. I wouldn't have been excited for my team to draft him, to be honest with you. But either way, Drake May, I think, was still the obvious 3rd choice. You can't really go, you really couldn't go wrong. These are the top 3 guys in the draft. They all look good in their own rights. Drake May, 3rd. Good for the Patriots. They'll work out with their system. Hopefully they kind of work out a new kind of unique system for Drake May to kind of shine. Then we'll get to the Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll get to the more interesting ones here after this one. But Marvin Harrison Jr., again, generational wide receiver. Not even really questioning about how good he is, because he's just damn good. Arizona's going to need him so badly. Kyler will greatly appreciate this, and I think the Arizona offense is going to be awesome to watch next year. So good for Marvin Harrison. No big surprise there. Then we got Joe Alt with the Chargers, and this has been one of the first controversial. This is the very first controversial pick of the draft. I think a lot of people didn't want Chargers. I think that they needed the wide receiver. Romeo Dunze, Neighbors, one of them. They're both pretty good, but they picked up an offensive lineman, and I don't know what their plan is, but I mean, fuck. I mean, Harbaugh there now. I just don't know how much of a decision making he has had with all this versus GM. Don't know. I haven't looked into it, haven't seen all that. But Joe Alt, he's great. You can't go wrong with him. I'll be honest with you. He's a great pick. I mean, everybody said he's going to be the first offensive lineman off the board. No surprise. He's good. He's tall. He's fucking big. Fucking monster. Great lineman. But did this fit the need of the Chargers? And you know what? The other side of it is Joe Alt was probably the best player available at this point. So, do you really fault the Chargers in that sense? Maybe not. But maybe a Dunze or Neighbors, who really just went off the board a couple picks later. Neighbors literally a next pick. So, really wasn't that good of a pick. I'm not too sure. I don't necessarily like this, but we'll see. We'll see from here. Joe, I don't like this for them, but we'll see. Neighbors, again, second best, probably second versus maybe second, third. Dunze, I've heard that people don't like him as much as I thought, but either way, Neighbors, probably easy number 2 pick there for wide receivers. Giants needed them. Honestly, Giants needed a little bit of everything, but like nothing like desperately, I guess. I mean, secondary they need, but like that they really didn't need anything desperately. Sure, you can say quarterback, but at this point, might as well just give Daniel Jones one more shot. You're not in a good position to get 3 guaranteed good guys, so why take a shot at 3 random ones in position while you can get a star wide receiver? So I get it, pretty good pick. Don't hate it. J.C. Latham. I mean, Tennessee had to get a O-lineman. J.C. Latham was the second best choice, or to them at least. Actually, now think about it. J.C. Latham wasn't even on the board for a lot of other O-linemen. Actually, let's kind of compare other O-linemen. Fashanu, Fuaga, and Mims. So honestly, yeah, kind of looking at extra, J.C. Latham does not seem very bad at all. I mean, it's Alabama O-lineman, so I don't think it's that bad. But apparently position ranking was only 5, so take that as you will. I know my Tennessee fans aren't very happy with that, but it's also because they wanted Joe Alt. So take that as you will. J.C. Latham's fine. They need an O-lineman. Go for it. Perfect. Another controversial, the second probably most controversial, actually probably the most controversial in the first round, Michael Penix Jr. Honestly, I thought he was probably not the worst, but like he just doesn't, I don't know. I like him. I like him. He seems fine. He seems cool. Seems kind of exciting. But he probably isn't better than the other 2 quarterbacks, to be honest with you. Or at least he might be better than fucking what's his name, J.J. McCarthy. But I don't know. I'm not in love with Penix from everything I've seen. A lot of my friends don't like him, so I don't see any reason to get behind the train with him. He could turn out good. He's older, but now he's behind Kirk Cousins. And no offense to Michael Penix Jr., but if you're in the position and you take and you're the Falcons, for one, I think again, J.J. McCarthy. I think you can make an argument for Penix, McCarthy, Nix. Either one, any order of that. I think you can make a good argument for any of them. Why would you, if your plan is to give Kirk Cousins someone to train, why would you? And by the way, he's not happy about this, so who knows? Why would you go with someone who has a completely different style? I don't know. I don't like that. But I guess maybe he's not a completely different style, I guess, but like he's not Kirk Cousins style. I don't know. While Bo Nix and McCarthy both at least can kind of fall in that camp a little bit more better, a little bit more pocket passer, while Penix feels a little bit more mobility. Now, granted, Bo Nix actually, now thinking about it, is also pretty mobile. So maybe it's J.J. McCarthy, but I don't know. I don't fully get the pick just in general reasons. They could have made their team so much better. Where I will defend them a little bit is that obviously Jordan Love has worked out, so maybe they wanted to go that route of like, you know, training someone up for a couple of years, which granted, fair, fine. But you piss off your star QB now, who you just spent, you know, money on, and you didn't make your team better. Now, granted, the Falcons didn't really need much. They were in a good position. Maybe this was worth it. So I don't think it's as bad of a pick as people are giving them crap for, but it could have been better. I mean, if they're going for a Super Bowl, then they probably should have gone something different. Then we got Romeo Dunze. I mean, this is just Caleb Williams or Romeo Dunze. I'm not really going to talk about it. Dunze, I've said already, it's pretty good. Bears, I mean, already have stacked it out, like stacked roster with receivers. But add a Dunze for development over time. That way you have room for Keenan Allen later or when he's out. So, pretty good pick. I'm not going to complain about that too much. J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings. I mean, I'm glad they picked up J.J. McCarthy because I do not like J.J. McCarthy. I think he's getting way too overhyped. I think that things are getting blown out of proportion for him quite a bit. And so I'm glad the Broncos did not take J.J. McCarthy because I just don't believe he's that good. I think he's going to be one of the busts. I think he's one of the easy call busts in the draft. And maybe fucking 2 years down the road, I'm seeing him win a Super Bowl or something. Great, I'll bite my tongue. But I just did not like him. Don't like the look of him. Don't like the play style. Don't like anything that I've seen from him. So, simple to the point. I don't know the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings need to pick up a QB here. I think they should have gone Bo Nix, but they had to go QB. They had to, so take that as you will. Olu Fashanu for an O-tackle for the Jets. Again, pretty obvious need for them, so I'm not going to hate it too much. Fashanu was also one of the better O-linemen in the draft, so pretty good pick for the Jets. Bo Nix for the Broncos. We'll talk about this real quick, but maybe I'll make a video on itself. I like Bo Nix. I think going into this draft and going to that last thing, I wanted Bo Nix. If I couldn't have, one of two top prospects or one of three, if you want to count Drake May, Bo Nix was the guy I wanted. And that's not just because I saw it online. I saw that he was likely going there. It's just because I like Bo Nix. From the three players, and maybe it's Tratham talking to me, his Oregon fanness, he just seems like the best of the three. He just seemed like he was competent in the pocket. He's able to get the ball out. He's able to scramble a little bit. He's able to be dynamic, make his own calls, be a little independent, while also still being a smart quarterback. It just seems like he has it all. Now, his last 2 years, I think, are kind of inflated because, just this last couple of years, Pac-12 has not been as good as the SEC. So, take that as you will. But I like Bo Nix. I think he's really talented. I'm excited to see Peyton does with him. Sean Payton. Crap, I couldn't remember his name for like a hot minute there. I was like, gosh, fucking went through all the quarterback prospects. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Sean Payton does with him. And I like Bo Nix, so should go well. At least we have a QB though, other than Zach Wilson. Which again, I don't hate Zach Wilson, but good pick. Brock Bowers for the Raiders. Brock Bowers falling this far, you have to eventually take the best player available, even if you don't necessarily need a tight end or need other things, I should say. The Raiders needed so many other things, but I can't Brock Bowers is probably the best player on the board. If you're looking down, honestly, probably the best player on the board. Jared Verse, I like Jared Verse, but, give him credit. Brock Bowers is a pretty good pick. I just think they need a lot more other stuff, but I won't want to see him 2 times a year, so it's going to be a good pick for him, I think. So, whatever. Fuaga for Saints, sure. I don't really love it. I think they could have gone more defense side of the ball. I think they really need help there. But, O-line, I guess, always could use some assistance. But Fuaga, probably pretty obvious choice after that. Well, Latu, the fact that Latu went over Verse, I'm not too sure how I feel in retrospect. I think he's, again, I don't know. I think Jared Verse is really fucking good. But, again, Latu also is up there in terms of prospect value and how good he looks. So I'm not going to, again, fault the Colts on this. They needed good defense. They really didn't need much, but, add to the defense, that's what they needed. So, or if they needed anything, they needed defensive side. Could they have gone corner? Sure. But, again, I'm not too sure if I'm really worried about that. Seahawks going D-tackle always seems like a fucking thing for them. They always go D-tackle. Don't know really why, what their obsession is. From Texas, though, hook 'em horns. At least. But either way, I'm not too big of a fan for Byron Murphy there. I think they should have gone more secondary. Now, granted, is the secondary value there at this point? Should you just wait to the second round? Maybe. What do I know about drafting? But whatever. Edge for Dallas Turner. Another great pick. Again, another great edge lineman. Honestly, again, pretty dang good. I don't know if I like him as much as Verse, but that's also just my preference. Verse seems really good. Really fucking just violent guy, just going right for the ball. While Dallas Turner seems very competent, very good. He's the top prospect in this draft for a reason for edge. Going to the Vikings. Vikings needed him. Nothing too back there. Mims, O-lineman, again, pretty good here. Honestly, they're in a weird position. The Bengals, I don't know how much this is really going to help them. I don't know much about Mims. He doesn't look amazing, but he looks fine, I guess. But they need O-lineman, the best person available there, so sure. They really don't need much else unless you go more defensive side of the ball. Honestly, Verse probably been a better pick for him, but again, I told them they need to go O-lineman, take the best O-lineman available. I don't fault them. Jared Verse, this is an awesome pick for the Rams. I'm excited for Braden so much because this is probably – I'm excited for all of our teams for different reasons. I think that the Rams getting Jared Verse is going to be awesome to see him on the defensive side of the ball. Going to be a monster. I'm sure he's not going to be Aaron Donald, but, man, he's going to be awesome to watch. Broncos getting Bo Nix. I think it's going to be just exciting seeing a new QB under center that's actually got potential. I guess Russ had more potential, but, I'm talking about younger QB. And, the Titans boost up their O-line, so go for it. For not new for Steelers, sure. It seems like they always go with a very safe, weird pick in the round 1, but that's where the value was. The guards were really good value at this point. It helps the run game, helps guarding a little bit. So, good pick, great pick. Chop Robinson. Taylor kind of bought me into Chop Robinson when we talked about him a little bit. So I like it. I think the Dolphins needed a good edge, so pretty good. Quentin Mitchell, secondary. Finally, the first secondary. Now, him being off the board first, I think was the honestly best case situation for the Eagles. The fact that he was there at 22, pretty dang lucky for the Eagles because the Eagles needed some cornerback help. Probably the best corner in this draft. Seems like the most solid corner at least. I don't know if he's a lock-in being a great corner, but he's damn good. So take that as you will. Jaguars getting a wide receiver. I don't know. That seems like a weird pick. I think they were fine, but I guess getting the extra like little young guy into the room, helping Christian Kirk, helping Zay Jones, Evan Ingram. I guess that's fine. It's not nothing bad. It's a fine, solid pick at pick 23. Their secondary probably need a little bit of help, especially with the corners being so good at this point. I think they're like Nate Higgins was still on the board, obviously still way later on, but Terry and Arnold. I mean, again, I don't know if I'd like him over Wiggins, but like pretty good. The fact the Lions went corner is amazing because I'm excited that their secondary gets amazing, then fucking great. But that's what they needed. The value was there. Jordan Morgan, I think this is probably one of the worst picks of the first round, just because I don't get it. Did they need O-line help? I didn't see it. I mean, there's no value for O-lineman at this point. I mean, who was next bet? Guyton? I mean, like, I didn't like Guyton. I don't like Morgan. I don't know. I just didn't think the value was there. I think the Packers... I could bite my words later on, but like, come on, I don't know. I'm not sold with it. Graham Barton for the center for Buccaneers. I mean, sure. The Bucks, did they need a center? Didn't somebody still there? I was thinking of someone different. I was thinking of a different team. It was not the Bucks. So the Bucks actually did need a center pretty badly. So good pick. Honestly, great value pick. Best center in the class, but there really wasn't much competition behind him. I think there was one other guy that might be kind of good, but other than that, not too risky of a pick. Darius Robinson for the Cardinals here. Again, solid pick. I think they needed more help on the defensive side of the ball with this late of a pick, trading up. Because I think they traded up. Or no, I think this is from previous trade. Yeah, it's a previous trade. I mean, it was just a solid pick for him. Darius Robinson, good. Going to add more value to the defense. They need that. They need a lot more, especially now that they have their offense a little bit figured out. They still need some O-line help, I think. But Cardinals looking fine. Xavier Worthy. The story behind this was they traded up for Buffalo for this pick, which, okay, don't hate on Buffalo. I get it. They got a 4.21 40-yard dash to Xavier Worthy. Listen, I don't know if he's that talented. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying everything I've heard about this guy is that he's just fast. I don't watch college ball that much, so I don't know how good this guy really is, how amazing he actually is, how much flash this is. I've just only heard that he's fast. And even when I'm looking at this, it's only just he's fast. I don't see his yardage. So I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm saying he's bad. I'm just saying that, like, I wouldn't get too, like, up in arms. Like, oh, you could have used Xavier Worthy. They just didn't see the value in the pick. And what they ended up going with. They actually just traded out of the first round. Cool. Because that wasn't the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, okay. So, sure. I don't know. Maybe the Bills didn't feel like they needed anything, which they really don't, other than wide receiver, to be honest with you. I think the whole other team is pretty fine, but take that as you will. Tyler Guyton, I mean, also probably not the greatest pick. Again, I don't like the O-lineman at this part of the draft, but, I mean, sure, but the Cowboys don't need much, to be honest. They just need to save money, but where do you want to develop guys? O-line, I guess, is fine to develop. It's safe bets, so go for it. Nate Wiggins, love this for Baltimore. I think Nate Wiggins was a great value pick for here. I think that Bills could have got him. Cowboys honestly could have benefited from him. Cardinals could have even benefited from him. But no, I think Nate Wiggins is going to be awesome. Again, more athletic. Again, this kind of goes in the Xavier Worthy thing, but I've heard more about him in his season, how well he was able to do in coverage. Small guy, though. That's kind of the weird part. Either way, I mean, heck, he's my height. No way. Who was the... Okay, there's another corner that was really short. No, my bad. I thought it was Nate Wiggins, but he's not. My bad. He's 6'1". More respect. Sorry. I am like 6 inches shorter than you. So good. I love Nate Wiggins. I think he's going to be a great pick for Baltimore, who needed that part of the ball. So good for them. And then you got 2 wide receivers going off the board. I don't think the value is there, but at this point in the draft, I'm not that big of an expert. Xavier Legette, I did hear, was actually a pretty good pick for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, I'm not too sure how. I mean, they need a wide receiver, so go for it. Help out your rookie quarterback. They traded up for it. Don't know if they should have, but I don't blame them for doing so. And I did hear that there was a wide receiver going off the board near the late of the first round. Xavier Legette was pretty good. While Ricky Parcell, I don't know much about him, but sure. 49ers, I don't know if they really need a wide receiver, but I guess with Ayuk and Debo, I don't know. Who knows? So Xavier Legette, I think I really like that pick, but Ricky Parcell, I'm not exactly sold on. So we'll see how this all turns out. I'll do a more grading type video later on, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for future videos. See you guys.